Hi, I'm Greg and welcome back to my shop. A little while ago I put one video up on that I was going to be doing a series on restoring hand planes, a number 6 and a number 5 1/4. I did the first video of disassembling them and checking to see what was wrong. Other than that, they sort of sat as they were for a month or so. But tonight I'm going to walk through how I flatten the soles and just clean up the sides, because when the sides look rusty, it's not the greatest, and it marks up, the material you're working on or your bench and what have you. But we'll go through how I flatten this sole, and how to, if there's a difficult area, how you deal with it, and just what are the important parts of it and what aren't the important parts. Thank you and enjoy this video. Hello, welcome back. Just before I get started, just ignore that loud hum in the background. It's just a hot air furnace, and hopefully I'm louder than that. Right now I'm going to show you some of the things you need for flattening your hand plane soles, and some people get really precise with it, but I don't find it to be that critical, just as long as it's flat to the human eye. And this ruler on here, I know that it's flat. I did the edge check, and if I would have noticed something, if there was anything off on how straight this edge is, and I'm pretty confident that this edge is straight. So I use that just to check for the longer plane, since it's hard to find like this. I'll be using for the 5 1/4 because it's obviously known flat because it's a granite block. But for the number 6, I just picked an area on my bench. There's a torsion box, outfeed table for a table saw. But I know it's flat, but just to make sure I checked it, all the important parts, like that. And this isn't quite long enough for doing that, but it's, like I said, it's close enough. So you want a nice long straight edge of some sort. An apron, because the rust can splatter on it. Some sandpaper, probably to 220. This goes down. There's pretty coarse grits, but I won't go that coarse. Some 3-in-1 oil to put on the sandpaper when you're sanding off the soles. A marker to check your progress. A paper towel. So that explains itself. And yeah, and if you have one of these blocks, it works good. If you don't, then just use something that's known flat. And I'm just going to use this since I have it for the smaller plane, but for the bigger plane, I'm just going to use the table. So I'm going to show you the basics on the small plane, and then just cut in and out on the big plane, since this one's going to go a lot quicker than that one. Granite block, and pick a semi-coarse grit to start with. I'm going with 100. Just take off any of that grime. Make sure the blade is backed off. And this is the first thing I do before anything else, because I'd like to, just in case I don't have the blade all the way back in, I don't want to have to worry about nicking the iron. So that's just why I do this as the first step. And it gets everything dirty, so you're just going to mess up what you already have clean if you do it last. So just make sure that iron's backed all the way out. This one's giving me trouble, so I'm just going to unhook that, lock it back up, and there, it's all in the sole. I'm pretty confident about that, and I'm going to give this a couple runs over the sandpaper. I'm confident it's in there. Make sure the video's still recording. I'll just dab a little bit of 3-in-1 oil. Maybe stick a dot or two in the back just to help hold it. Yeah, it's just taking off any of the really coarse rust, and it'll get it flat really quick. And as you're going, just take your paper towel or rag, whatever you have, and just wipe it and check your progress. And that's looking, I'm pretty confident in that one. And I got all the big rust cleaned off, so I'm just going to switch to the side, get the sides cleaned off, and then switch back to the sole. And I'll see you at that point. Now I've got most of the plane cleaned up on the coarse sandpaper. Still not perfect or flat yet. I've just been cleaning off the rust, but there's some dark edges along the side there. Underneath I'm not going to worry about right yet. And somewhere around the side there. And this is going to be a user plane, so I'm not really concerned with that. You could take some fine sandpaper and just get that out by hand on the sides. Don't do that on the bottom, but on the sides you can do it by hand. But I'm not going to worry about it because it's a user plane, and that's what this whole restoration is going to be based on, is how to make an old, really junky plane. Most people on YouTube take semi-decent planes and restore them. But these are truly rusty, old, dirty planes that have a lot of work to be done with them, and making them into just good user planes, not a showpiece, and not making the handles. I might just scrape off the old shellac and put a nice coat of something else on them. Just make them user planes, not to show off. That's what they're made for, and why make them to something else? And then from this step after here, I want to clean up that sole really well. Have a good look at it. The rust will still tell you where there's some areas you haven't hit. But what I'm just going to do now, this is a trick everybody uses, is take a Sharpie of some sort, some Milwaukee marker. Take it and just run some, some semi-decent lines down the sole, just to give you an idea. One there, one there, one there, one there. Some people get really crazy and darken the whole sole, but there's no point. Just as long as the areas of importance in front of a plane are going to be the toe, in front of the actually, yeah, I guess the toe is important, but the toe, in front of the blade, behind the blade, just like inch at the most in front and behind the blade, the back, and maybe a couple strips along the side. And that's really all that is important in a plane. If the rest of it has a little divot, it doesn't matter because it's supported everywhere else. So I'm just going to work it down to there and show you in just a minute after I do work on this for a minute, and I'll show you where it comes out. There you see most of my lines are off. There's just a bit here and right behind the mouth. So in this case, I'm going to go make sure I get right down to there. And I think I just about got in the toe here and here. A little bit here needs worked on, and at the back I'm good. So just a little bit more work in this area, and we will be on our way. Now, with right there, I'm pretty sure that it is good. I'm just going to work a little bit more. There's a little bit of rust left right there, but once that gets rid of it, I'll be good. And what that means is somebody who's using this plane at a skew to plane the edge of a board, because you can see that line go diagonally across the plane. So, wood will wear down a metal plane in that way, and if your one is plane square to the edge, you'll find that your plane over time will have a line straight down the edge. If you use it for surface planing, well, there should be no wear. It should be pretty well equal wear, but if you're doing a lot of edge planing, you'll find a groove start to appear down the center, and if you're doing it at a skewed angle, you'll find a groove going from either corner to corner. So that's what somebody did here, and it's causing work for me now. But hey, it's a plane, it's made to be used, right? Right there now, that dark is starting to disappear, and I'm just going to check with the ruler and hold it up, offer it to the light, and we'll see where we're at with that. This is a rough way of checking it. I'm pretty sure it's gone, and that'll tell me it is not gone. Over the length, I'm perfect. As you can see, the length, I'm pretty darn flat. Just not the width. I'm going to check that again real quick. This is a fairly coarse stone, not concerned. And now it is good. So now I'm going to take the plane, and now since it's a fairly sharp edge, you don't want that making any digs in your work. What you do is you just go like that, like that, like that, and like that. That takes off any sharp burrs, and you won't have a problem. Just a very slight bevel to the edge, and that's important. Now, we'll work on the number 6, and then work up to the finer stones, and that will be it for this video. Hello, thanks for watching this whole video. As you can see, I flattened some planes. My hands are all oily and dirty. This one's all flattened to my standards. Now, you still see some staining in there, but I found that just goes into the metal because I sanded out, and it would just not disappear. So, don't know what that is, but it's flat. I checked it with a straight edge. It's good. Clean up the edge, and this is just getting the sole flat so I could plane with it. But I might go 220 or something a bit finer and finish up the sole a bit later on. This plane I did the same thing, same situation, but it's flat here, flat there, flat there, and flat there. Pretty much flat this whole back bit and pretty much flat this whole front bit. And same thing, staining, but it's flat. It must have been good. It was good just how it was, and not just staining on the flat surfaces. And I didn't really document this, but same situation as that plane, just in a bigger format. In my next videos, I will go through cleaning up the handles and the chip break. Actually, I'm going to just do an episode just on the handles and what I do for the handles, and then, you know, chip breaker will be later. Chip breaker and blade cleanup will be later, and then the rest. But for now, so long. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode of How to Restore Bench Planes. Thank you.